out what I feel about certain things in boxing right now. So the next talking point is this, because Ring Magazine has updated their pound for pound list, and I was just talking about this recently in one of my recent lives about Shakur Stevenson and where does he fit pound for pound, and I was very adamant that after the Teofimo Lopez fight, based on the fact that he's a 4 division champion at 28 years old, and he just fought a guy who's been a pound for pound fighter before in Teofimo Lopez, who was the lineal champion at 140 as well. And he outclassed him. It wasn't even a hard fight for him. It was actually one of his easiest fights. Josh Padley was a harder fight, if we're being objective, if we're being honest. I thought Shakur was easily a top 5 pound for pound fighter. And there were certain guys that were on the list already that I just thought he was above. I told you guys I thought he was better than Bam Rodriguez pound for pound. Oscar Collazo, I like him. He's above him pound for pound. And Junta Nakatani, he's above him pound for pound. Right? And those are all for the most part, lighter weight category guys. And you guys know I love the lighter weight categories. But like I say, I'm not biased. I tell you guys what it is and what's the truth. People don't like Shakur Stevenson because of his style, and maybe they think he talks too much. But no, that guy can fucking fight. He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life. One of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, let's go to the screen share. Shout out to everybody here. Let's go to the screen share. So here it is. Shakur Stevenson, the fighting pride of Newark, New Jersey, Brick City in the building. He is now your number 3 pound for pound fighter on Ring Magazine, and the list goes as follows. So you guys can tell me in the chat, in the comments, what you think about the list, who's too high, who's too low, and we can have some healthy discourse on this. But so number 10, you got Oscar Collazo. Number 9, you got Devin Haney. Number 8, you got Dave Benavidez. Number 7, you got Junta Nakatani. Number 6, you got Artur Beterbiev. Number 5, you got Dimitri Bivol. Number 4, you got Bam Rodriguez. Number 3, you got Shakur Stevenson. Number 2, you got Naoya Inoue. Number 1, you got Alexander Usyk. Right now, to me, number 1 and number 2 is set in stone. Inoue and Usyk right now are clearly number 1 and number 2. I don't care how you have it. Personally, for me, I actually would have Inoue maybe slightly ahead at number 1, just off of activity and dominance, right? But I'm not mad at you if you put Usyk number 1. He's doing special things as well. Now, what I'll push back on, and one thing I'm glad about, I'm glad that Ring Magazine put Shakur Stevenson over Bam Rodriguez, because he is a better fighter, and he's proven to be better than Bam Rodriguez by every single metric, apart from entertainment value. Bam is more entertaining to watch. He's more exciting to watch, but in terms of accomplishments, in terms of dominance, in terms of resume, he is better than Bam Rodriguez, as he should be. He's at a more advanced stage of his career. Bam is still young, right? But I still think Bam is too high. Like, I don't think Bam is a better pound-for-pound fighter than Dimitri Bivol. Even though he's been up more weight classes, Bivol has beaten better fighters, right? And Bivol is not even a big light heavyweight. Like really and truthfully, he's really a guy that maybe you could probably say should fight at 68. Because he's not a big light heavyweight at all by any means. So to me, he's a more dominant fighter than Bam in the style he fights, right? He's a master boxer, and there's not too many of those in boxing. Master boxer. He beat Canelo before Crawford did. He beat Canelo. He beat Zolder Ramirez, who's a damn good fighter himself, and he beat Artur Beterbiev, who also is right there below him. Like, I don't think Bam Rodriguez should be above no damn Bivol and Beterbiev. I think he's someone that 6 to 7 range. And, I like Junto. He's a fantastic fighter. But Junto Nakatani, it's debatable right now if he should even be on the pound-for-pound list. Because really, I thought he lost his last fight. And even if you thought he won his last fight, then he shouldn't be probably no higher than, I would say, 9, honestly. But the important thing is here, the important thing is here, I don't want to get off topic. The important thing here is that Shakur Stevenson got his recognition because, like, again, he's been highly criticized, and he's still criticized. Like, they say Shakur Stevenson isn't exciting, right? He didn't put that. He didn't put the exclamation point on the Teofimo Lopez fight. But at the end of the day, look, once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake. Like, he is who he is in boxing. We know Shakur Stevenson is always going to be safety first. Always. We'll call Shakur Stevenson's style. We'll call it seatbelt boxing because he's always safety first. You know, he tried to press a little bit for a stoppage and try to hurt Tio, but the minute Tio threw back and landed anything, Shakur went immediately back into that defensive mode in that distance control. So, you know, he is who he is. But guess what? Like Evander Holyfield told me many years ago when I was really young, at the Heavyweight Factory, he said, Brendan, in this fight game in boxing, you got certain attributes that God gave you, and you gotta fight the fight that works for you. So guess what? For everybody, that's something different. For some guys are born with heavy hands. Some guys are born with quick feet. Some guys are born with the ability to adapt to different styles and control distance, and that happens to be, you know, Shakur Stevenson's thing. And he fights the fight that works for him, and he does it at the highest level. He's mastered his style. Like, I look at certain guys on this list. There are certain guys on this pound list that I don't even feel have fully even mastered their own style, mastered what God gave them, right? Shakur Stevenson has fully mastered his style. And if you want to beat Shakur Stevenson and make him show something different, then you got to be good enough to get past that style. That's how I feel. Love him, hate him, you know, the proof's in the pudding. He's a 4-division champion at 28 years old. Yes, I understand there were certain fights, like there's certain fights in his career you could say maybe he avoided and should have taken, like higher risk, lower, like Oshaki Foster, maybe even a guy like Albert Bell, who I'm going to talk about here in a second. But other than that, like he's got to beat Teofimo Lopez. He beat Oscar Valdez. He beat William Spada. He's done his thing, man. And like I said, Shakur is not my favorite fighter. Like, you know, I have certain guys that are my favorites, but I can separate my favorites from giving a guy his just due when I see him going in the ring and see him executing at the highest level time in and time again. And he's doing that. So to me, people feel like his spot's too high. I feel like it's warranted. I think he's earned his spot at the table of being one of boxing's true creme de la creme, pound for pound elites. And I'm gonna leave it at that. As far as Bam, because I know Bam has a lot of fans. People might say, "Well, BT, you're hating on Bam," but Bam, like I'm waiting for Bam to fight like a guy like Junto. Like I feel like Bam versus Junto, right? That's a fight that gets him like up there, right? You beat a guy like Junto. I know a lot of you guys don't think highly of him. Bam versus Ken Shiro. I've been begging to get Bam versus Ken Shiro, but Eddie Hearn don't want to do that. They boxing Ken Shiro out. Baldo Garcia's over here faking illnesses so Bam can get an easy fight for Undisputed. So it's like, you know, to me, like he's beat. I'm not gonna say he hasn't beat good fighters because he beat Sonny Edwards, which is a very good win. He beat Kafu and Puma Martinez easily, which are also very good wins. But let's be real, them guys are not Junto Nakatani. They're not Ken Shiro. They're not the guys available to him that are the best in and around his weight class. They're not even a lot of those guys are not even Masamichi Ibuki. A lot of those guys are not even, you know, him. Okay, so I think he's on his way, but he needs more work to do. Shakur Stevenson, you know, he's where he should be. My man said all Shakur do is jump backwards against top opponents like Tio. He will actually box lesser opponents, but against top guys, he just spams the step back jab. Well, okay. Well, guess what? If it's so simple, if it's that damn simple, why can't no one figure it out? Why can't anybody figure it out enough to impose their style on the fight? You know, if it's that simple, like you're saying, and they're not imposing their style on the fight, it means there's a lot more to it than just that. You know, it's different when you're in there. You know, my man says 3 is wild. I don't think so. And he asks, is Teofimo a better one than Gaio Estrada? Yes, because when Bam fought Gaio Estrada, that was an old, decrepit shell of himself, Gaio Estrada. Gaio Estrada's legs were gone in like the first round. That wasn't the Gaio Estrada that fought Roman Gonzalez. That wasn't like, you know, anything close to the real Gaio Estrada. And guess what? Even in that fight, even with the shell of Gaio Estrada, Bam got dropped. He got dropped in that fight. So by any metric you want to use outside of entertainment and maybe preference and style, Shakur Stevenson is better than Bam Rodriguez. And I know that might people may not want to hear that, but he's better than Bam in every metric at this stage right now, apart from entertainment value, accomplishments, resume, level of dominance in his fights. He's just better than Bam. But Bam has fights out there for him. he goes out there and continues to do what he's doing, then now it's a conversation again. But not right now. Right now, it's Shakur.